Hello world, and welcome to my first tutorial on this series 12 weeks with 3JS. My name is PJDev, and let's get started with the tutorial. So this is actually a series. We'll be learning 3JS in this series. So for this tutorial we're going to be using VS Code, and I'm going to assume you guys already have a basic knowledge of HTML5, CSS3 and JavaScript year 6 upward. So before we actually start writing our code and such stuffs, we are going to install an extension called Live Server by Day. So this is actually a very useful extension for VS Code. So once you've installed this, there should be a go live button over here. So I've installed it over here, and let's get started. If you want to install it, if you don't have it installed, you can go under the search bar, input to search for it, live server, and there it is. Just click on install, and should ensure that you've already had this checked, auto updates checked it, and let's move on. So as you see, I've opened a folder 3JS week 1. So I'm going to create a new file, our base index.html. So there's actually a shortcut for a boilerplate, because we are going to create a boilerplate for this week actually. So you can see, if I click on exclamation and click enter, we are provided with a basic boilerplate by Emmet. So we are not going to use this actually. We are going to write everything from scratch. Doc type HTML. Okay. Oh, sorry. HTML. I'm going to use a JavaScript module, and the version of the 3JS that we are going to use is 3JS version 166. That's the version we are going to use. So we're going to include our scripts using the script tag. There will be a script folder, there will be an app.js, and don't forget the type attributes, type equal the value the module. And let's go ahead and create our scripts folder and app.js. Okay, in order to ensure that both our HTML5 and the JavaScript file are linked, we are going to use the console. We're going to log anything to our console. Hello 3JS. Okay, let's try this out. You can click on this go live button over here. this button. Get started. Let's go inside our console. This is actually by the live server extension. We don't need this, but you can see that our code is actually working, and that is great. Both our HTML file and the JavaScript file are linked. So let's continue. First of all, what is ThreeJS? Well, ThreeJS is your JavaScript library for creating 3D content on the web. As easy as that, but don't forget it also supports 2D actually, and it's a very to use library, and it's very rich. It's very rich library. You are going to like ThreeJS if you are actually trying to get into 3D web development. So how does ThreeJS actually create our 3D content? It uses webgl. This is actually our canvas API. We have the 2D, webgl, which is for 3D, and just 2D, context for 2D. So that's basically how 3JS works. So but 3JS also actually provide us with APIs, so we don't need to write directly using the webgl. We don't need to know webgl before we use 3JS, so we can use it pretty much. So first of all, in order to use 3JS, we are going to go on the we're going to download the 3JS, but we're going to go on the 3JS master and just drag it up over here. I'm going to go under the build folder, and there are 3 files: 3.cjs, 3.module.js, 3.main.js, but we are going to use the 3.module.main.js. So actually this might look great, but this actually looks so somehow ugly. One way or the other, we are going to be using some files that they are external, they are like libraries. So the best way is to create a new folder called the library, and let's copy our I'm going to move it, and let's close this. Okay, actually we can use You can also use something called import map instead of the JavaScript module. We can use that. So if you're already familiar with the module, let's move forward. If you are not, you can easily make a quick browse, a quick research of it, and it's very easy to use, and it's not that difficult. So let's import everything, and put everything as I'm going to give it a namespace. Let's name it 3 capital. From let's go back. These are app.js over here. We are going to go back. We are going to leave the script folder. We use the double dot, and we are going to go inside the library, and the file name is 3.module.main.js. So in order to ensure that we now have our namespace and our 3 successfully linked, we can console.log the 3. Let's check our console. It works. Go inside the console, and voila, it works successfully. So let's move forward. First of all, not every browser supports webgl, so we are going to check if the browser that our code is currently running on, if it supports webgl or not. So if it doesn't support webgl, we are going to display some kind of error message to the user. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, we don't need to do this from scratch. If you like, if we want to do this from scratch, we can do that, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do this from scratch. Let me close this. Let's click on it again. Let's go to ThreeJS master. I'm going to go under the examples folder, click on JSM, and then click on the capabilities, and this is for the web GPU and this is for the webgl. We're going to need this webgl. So all this code, we don't need to know what they are for now. So just like the ThreeJS stuff, just as we import the ThreeJS, we can import the webgl from library webgl.js. You can check if successfully over there. Console.log webgl. Let's see. Okay. Yes, we successfully linked it as it our webgl.js. So let's close the console. Can easily there's a method that the webgl that the namespace provided for us. It's webgl dot is webgl2 available. There is webgl, the first version and the second version. We can use the 3JS. If webgl2 is available, 3JS will use webgl2 or fall back to webgl. So if it works, I'm going to call init. Okay, I actually don't want to call it init. I want to call it start. Okay, start. Okay, but what if doesn't work? We want to actually do something else. So what are we going to do? Actually, let's go check the webgl. The error message. We can actually customize this to our so to our taste. If you don't want this, you can just go ahead and change. This is actually basic JavaScript, so we are actually not going to tamper with this. I just keep this. So let's create a constant called warning webgl dot get error message. Let's actually console.log the warning. Start is not defined. Actually, you know what that means. My browser supports the webgl, so let me put that back. Start. But this one was supposed to be a HTML element. So let's console.log one. I actually want to see what it is. So there it is, a div element. Our browser does not seem to support undefined. Never mind, because that means our browser supports the webgl. So let's close this for now, and let me take this back to its place. And I'm going to create a div, a container, an ID of the field DOM, and then I'm not going to use the external CSS. We're actually going to use the internal CSS. You can use this style tag. I'm going to set the margin of the body to 0. I'll actually explain why you are setting the margin to 0 later, but let's just ignore it for now. Let's select our div element using the ID field DOM. Okay, position absolute top 0, left 0, actually top 50%, left 50%, and then translate minus 50%, minus 50%. Let's give it a padding of 10 pixels, the border radius of 4 pixels. Okay, but last thing, display of none, background 232323. Nice. If actually we are not going to use the one directly like that, if not webgl dot is webgl2 available, that means webgl2 is not currently not supported, obviously not supported. So I'm going to get our webgl2 error message console.1, our warning, oh not again, set it to equal webgl dot get webgl2 error message, else if not webgl dot is webgl available. As you can guess, okay, and lastly display error message if webgl is not supported. It's warning document dot get elements by ID. What's the ID? The ID is filled DOM. Actually, this is where you get it over here. Filled DOM. Got append child. So I'm going to append the one. Nice. So let's create our function called start. Let's console.log the version of ThreeJS we are using. We can get the version by 3.revision. Okay, let's run it and let's go inside the console, and the version is 166. Alright,